Hey, Doovid here. Gonna do a chess stream. Just streamed yesterday with Oki on his channel, going over some chess. I haven't done like a live banter play for a while, so gonna do that. And anyone tuning in, so there's more geared to the Crazy House chess stream. So I'm going to add the word chess in the title. So I'm looking forward to this. I've been playing quite a bit, but I hadn't been streaming. I wanted to improve a little bit, and it's a pretty difficult game. So I'm just trying to get set, and then I'll try to ramble. So I'm going to share it in the stream. Let me go to screen share. Okay, so I got the screen share going. So, here's the tournament. It's coming up. I'm going to tell the people I'm streaming. Make sure the link is right. Okay, yeah, so the link is right. You'll see the tournament, 4 minutes. So, in all humility, like, I love this game. It's really improving my mental thinking. There's a big tournament. I'm about to go to the DIA and do my chess coaching. But you can see I've been destroying it. First place, Crazy House, 14-0, 17-0, 25-0, 14-4, 12-1, 19-2, 17-1, 15-1, 18-1, 18-0, 16-2. I've almost won 100 first places in Crazy House, and occasional third place or second place, but I think over half of these on chess.com I'm getting first place in. So thank God there's better players. So I found Elite Chess, and I had briefly got myself into the top 100. I got a Horde. I want to stream a little bit more Horde. I joined a house server, so I'm top 100 player in Horde. So you rank 67, Chess 960. It's more competition, but Crazy House, I'm ranked on Lee Chess, which is probably more competitive. Certainly they have Crazy House tournaments all day and computer analysis, but there, so I'm ranked 111. I briefly got into the top 100, and when I was playing on chess.com a few months ago, I played Bug House. I'd never played this before, so here's the top 200 list, and it took me a little while just to get on the top 200. But after like a month of studying with the computer, I got in the top 200, and then just recently I broke the top 100 and got over 2,200. But now I'm lower. So but definitely taking advantage of computer analysis is a big deal, and playing the stronger opponents. You see the tournaments, I started performing better. Horde is very difficult because, like, even though I'm top 100 players, most of the players in someone's asking about the 3-0. Most of the players in so I just lost track. People are trash talking on the stream. That's fine. Okay, yeah, it's starting in less than 2 minutes. So yeah, most of the Horde tournaments are very top heavy. So you only have to be like 1,800 is already top 200, and like 75% of the players, besides for like a monthly tournament. So thank God I won this week the weekly Crazy House tournament, and I was showing this, like, these are players that beat me pretty often. Cat Poacher, in the beginning he beat me very often, below me. He's still a very positive record against me. I'm 19-33. Although recently I've been beating him. Blitznor, so I mean, that guy, he's also better than me at but we've been destroying me. Metin, I've played him 73 games, 30-43. Even Blunderman, has a winning record against me. So tournament starting any minute. I don't have my mouse plugged in. I'm not going to be trying to do super quick stuff. I just want to talk some chess, share some ideas. Okay, we got someone higher rated than me in here. So at least the first game should be pretty competitive. And we haven't played before, so we're about the same strength tournament-wise. Some of these guys I played a lot of games, against like Spring Tingler here. I've played him, 39 games. Thank God I'm 37-2 against him. And it's kind of just pattern recognition. So like, I played a lot of games. I recognize these patterns. I recognize them quickly. That's why play is somewhat, basically the mental exercise. And okay, Yuan, thanks for tuning in. Okay, so, and we're off. So my friend here from the Ukraine is higher rated than me. And see what he's doing. We're going to get one of these queen pawns, or he's playing slow. So yeah, the unfortunate reality, I hate playing against this open. Like Cat Poacher plays it, and Blitznor plays these D pawns, Oki, and I want to get my E pawn open. The basic strategy, you're attacking the king, so you play, king pawn makes somewhat more sense, but obviously the queen pawn openings are fine, and yes, the way I play that usually leads to the open D file, which could be extremely volatile and risky, especially since his king is castled. Although position here is relatively even, said because of the nature of this tournament, you got to win quickly. So even if I'm going to lose this game, you win the tournament by winning a lot of games quickly. So yeah, he could have taken that pawn. I guess I'll go this way. I guess I'll put a pawn in there. See that he's goes back. So he allowed me in. I mean, he could have played a more aggressive move, and he didn't. So I'm in. I'm not sure. That bishop in. So now his queen is out there. So mate. So obviously a queen mates now. So let me stick this pawn in him. I don't see he has quick counterplay. So I guess I like this. That trade, it's got to favor me. I could almost already pound some knights in there. Like, I think that's mate. He's got to sack his queen, like because I have knight on f3, which and then if he takes with the pawn, I have knight on e2 and mate in the corner. So he walks into mate. Okay, thank God. So that guy was the highest rated guy in the tournament, and he walked into a smother, mate there. Thank God. We'll see if I could get some quick victories. So let's see if I get my next game. So that guy was the highest rated guy in the tournament, and now he is now he's the second highest rated guy in the tournament. Thank God I beat him that game, and our ratings were pretty close. So that was a tight game. Like he played theory. So it's tough to ramble and theorize at the same time. But there is a certain amount what we'll call opening theory in this, and the better players. You could really get a pressing advantage in the opening. So a lot of players, even weaker players, play the most pressing lines, although they're very difficult to play the pressing lines because a lot of them, you have to keep the tension. In order to play the most pressing openings, you need to, in essence, to play very aggressively. So here, even though this guy, he's only rated 700, but he's got a lot of stuff. He's got a lot of pieces headed towards my king, and that's actually mate. So he walked into mate, and because I want quick games, I'm willing to play a little bit more loose and open, allow possibly a little more counterplay and attacks. And I for chess players out there, if you ever heard of like Jerry Silman's The Amateur Mind, you could probably also get a concept like that in Crazy House, like thinking like the different rating strengths and the way people look at the game. So, Oleg, he's already 1,700. He's probably played a lot of games. He knows the patterns and the basic mates. I don't really like H3. It's unnecessary. The computer says it's decent. So, I get my knight in here to defend, and I could castle So I think I've equalized here, and I'm okay. Castle, castle. I have the open rook file, but like obviously, I'm trying to win with black. I'm trying to attack with black and move behind. So this leaves white with a lot of attacking potential. So obviously he just goes for it. He sacks a piece for a pawn, and that gives him the initiative, so to say. So you got to be careful. You got to play a few careful moves here. But I think I think I should be fine because he's not really threatening much. So I'm not sure. I think I could even just take this and go here because he doesn't have direct threats. Like he has to move his knight first to make a threat. If he blocks with the bishop, I could place a pawn there and win some more material. If he goes back with the king, it's almost checkmate. As the knight here would cover these two white squares. So this is like actually checkmate. He walked into the checkmate, and because the knight here will cover these light squares, and I'll place another bishop down here. So I have just enough material here to checkmate. I could even pre-move this. Oh no, he could come up. I'm sorry. So let me just take the rook. So thank God, it's a good position. Like I thought that there was a mate there. It's not mate, but let's see, I want to go about this. Yeah, thank God he really just doesn't have anything. He doesn't have any good counter plays. I think I could play rook there, and he has to play rook there, king there, and I could play rook there. And if he takes the pawn, there's going to be a discovered check. Otherwise, I get bishop there to force off some more material. I'm going to take the knight, and then I'm going to get his queen with check, and that will be mate. Okay, so that was a nice attack. So you see that I'm playing to win with black, and I'm sorry, I'm doing other things at the same time. So thank God I'm in first place. I'm trying to get a consistent rambling going on here. So it takes a little bit of luck of the draw in terms of the ratings and who you play. Gandalf, thanks for coming. I got my wrench. I guess he has something to ask about the Hare Krishnas, which actually a topic I know quite a bit, although I'm not going to be able to do that today. So maybe I'm going to play this. I'm going to run downtown to the chess club. So whatever you have to ask me, I'm probably at most going to be able to glance at it, and then I'm going to have to look at it later. But put in the chat or message me, and I'll look at it later. So I guess I'm just going to win the rook here. That usually the material, like because it's so blocked up, and there's no real, his knight and bishop aren't in play, so I don't think he could formulate such an attack, even if he plays like bishop there and opens up my king. So I didn't see the the best way to proceed. So let me just win the material, and we're going to pop this rook right down immediately. Like I could hit this knight. I guess his queen sack doesn't work, and knight check I could just sidestep. So this is going to be pretty painful for him. His queen doesn't have a good place to run, and so this should be over. He takes the rook. So I still got two pieces right on here. This pawn is right down there and on him. So at least he creates a threat, but I think I could just sidestep it. He doesn't. You have a knight. He only gets the knight with check. So if he takes the pawn here, I could probably even just take it with the rook. It's going to give me more material, but he doesn't. So this should just be mate. Just put the queen down because I got rook down here. If he goes there, rook down there is mate, and if he goes back, I'll do pawn drop and then rook mate next move, depending on where he goes. So you see the point. So I was saying the better players usually play the most pressing opening moves, the most testing opening moves. They put the most pressure on you right away in the opening. And so when you play second best moves or something, not even second best moves, I mean, to the computer, give a lesser rating because you need to play aggressively. Crazy House, basically every single game is won by mating the king. So it requires you to play aggressive. So even here, he's playing the fianchetto. It has a purpose because that bishop is going to be pounding down on my king. He's already threatening my center pawns. But at the same time, long term, be difficult. So that I was going to play pawn there possibly anyways. So I have knight there. My idea is to play e4 and then bring my knight into the center, and I have these holes to probe. Castle, all my pieces are facing towards his king, as where his pieces are offside, so to say, in terms of general control, but just in terms of facing the king or not, and that's just a piece for nothing. So I should be able to wrap this one up pretty good. So let's see how he goes about it. We just trade. More he trades, means you're gonna be in trouble. Those heavy pieces are just so if he took with a pawn, I would have popped a knight probably right in a way. And okay, I'll take that because I'm just going to place another one directly down. And it's looking pretty good. Okay, so he takes that. I just take the queen because knight takes bishop, but I have knight check. Yeah, I think I could take the rook, but I think I've made here. So I'm just going to finish him off. I think a knight there. I'm not sure. King there. I could play queen check first. Okay. Yeah, this is just going to be double queen mate. I got to take. So I didn't even need to capture that rook. Okay, so Hansen down there, we've played quite a few games, challenge, but right now I got to clear first. Second place is a weaker player, so presumably he's going to get harder pairings at some point. And I wasn't paying attention, and I messed up. I didn't mean to let him do this, so I was too busy rambling and checking my result. And it's not the end of the world because he doesn't really have any follow-up on this, especially if he places the knight right away. But I didn't mean to let him do that, and I got to come up with some way to expel this knight. So probably just here is the safest. Okay, well, see that one. If he takes the knight, I'll take with the bishop and then cover. So I think that worked out okay. Now I'm hitting this pawn, and materials back to even. So just put the rook on this file. So castles worry a little bit, but you get a piece. Pop the knight in on here. You got the rook file, so okay, I'm gonna have to take that and replace. So now I'm threatening this pawn. One thing you could try bishop on a dark square, but it relieves a little bit of the pressure for him to do something like that. So you do this knight here. Okay, so if he wants to take that, he can. If he takes it, I could already, probably play knight takes g7. So he sees that and worried about it, and now he's in trouble because I'm on this square. So I'm going to take it with the knight. Now I'm on this also. So we got a threat of discovered check on e6. He only has knights. He can't even block with something that. So just take with the knight, and that's a fork, so he probably has to take. He doesn't have a pawn to block with, and I'll just stick a pawn in there because he's gonna have a hard time getting towards my king. Doesn't have that much material. He's got to be careful about losing material. Oh, I forgot that knight f2 was a threat, so I really shouldn't have given him that much, but I think I have enough. So let's hope check there. And he has to play there. And he has to take the pawn basically. So I guess I'm just going to take the knight, and then king back is a threat. Like if he plays anything. Okay, I'm just going to go bishop here because he doesn't have anything. King back is a serious threat. And now I have another knight, so is that enough to mate? Well, it's actually not enough to mate, and he's threatening to mate. That was a mistake. So now I could play bishop here or something like that. So random, he's got a little bit of counterplay here. I'm going to take with the knight, because that frees up the square for a check. So it takes that way. Bishop here. Back. I think my king is safe here. So this one was a little closer than I would have wanted, and took a while because I've spent most of my time also. So you have a threat. Yeah, I mean, taking that bishop is a threat. So you go rook here. He takes. And now, I hope I have a mate. I guess he could sack his queen. He probably has to. So we sack his queen. He doesn't have a check here. My knight is covering those squares, and he's running out of time. So it took more time than it was probably preferable this game. So someone came in tied because this game took so much time. I mean, he could rinse and repeat, just lose more material. So I didn't find the best continuation. I had a good attack, and yes, it just didn't work out. That game took quite a bit of time. So unfortunately, yes, I'm not reading the chat right now. I'll have to check the chat later. So if I get a few lucky pairings, so to say, just in terms of getting first place. So like a few down pairings of people that also play quickly. Key things. If you play someone slow, but it's basically guaranteed to take up the whole 3 minutes. So even better players, but if they play quickly. So that was just a oversight there, but I still think I'm fine. Try bishop here. Try bishop here. See if he walks into smothered mate. So if he tries to defend the rook, he's going to walk into smothered mate. Otherwise, he's in some trouble. I didn't mean to lose my queen like that, but it's not a big deal, I think. Okay, so take that. Okay, so I got to be a little bit careful. I mean, I should be substantially careful. Always got to be careful. So probably eventually have to play like bishop takes pawn or something, or I could consider bringing a rook in there. But bishop takes pawn, then I have a pawn to place in here. Should be. Oh no, it's not. He could play bishop takes, and but I think I'd have knight check. If I didn't have knight check, I would be seriously in trouble. But Okay, yes, I'm getting. Oh, so he loses his queen also. So sometimes we've been playing 20 minutes and a little like brain freeze here. So to recognize the patterns and to do the patterns as quickly as possible, it wasn't necessarily easy. So fine, just run back. He doesn't have a good check, and I'm threatening instant checkmate. He's only got one bishop to block, so this should be all she wrote. Okay. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks, Gandalf, the mods. And I just wanted to play some chess. Kind of, I've been practicing. You see my rating up here, 2151. Certainly all-time high rating on what this guy did. He just gave up a pawn and didn't take it back. So that's a pawn for nothing. So, basic strategy, like King's Crusher used to play, in the beginning, called like, bunny crushing or something like that, where you're basically just beating up on, so to say, weaker players because they don't know the fundamentals. And at all levels, like, the top players on Elite Chess, could basically beat up on me, in almost a similar way to I'm winning here, the top players. So that's why I took a hiatus once I discovered Elite Chess and I saw there was players that were significantly better than me. And I discovered computer analysis. I decided to take a few months of just playing, improving my game. I was in the league and the series. And then I streamed with Oki, and also I was, like looking into, what is the streaming community, so to say, the crazy house community. And it's hard to say what's a crazy house community. A bunch of people using meme handles on a chess server. What does it mean? Is there a community? And also, I had a bunch of ideas on possibly the theory of what crazy house itself means. So see what's going on. I guess I'm just gonna stuff him here. I'm not sure. I got to come up with something. He does have a tiny bit of threats, so I think this is going to clarify rather quickly here. And so if we get to trade a few pieces here, I'm going to be able to stick that right in here on his largely open king. So knight takes, queen takes. I guess just pawn here. Like, I wish there was something better, but I didn't see it. Maybe knight takes would have been better. So I think I could just win the rook, and he doesn't have a quick way to attack me. So if he tries to, I take one of these pawns, I could just ignore it, and now I'm threatening mate in one, which he should have a hard time stopping. Okay, well, 16 people watching. Thanks for tuning in. And okay, so just queen there, bishop here, and mate next move. Okay, thank God. Okay, so now I'm playing a higher rated player, 1900 player. Let's see how many times I've played this guy before, if I've played him before. So I've never played this guy before. He's an expert blitz player, so see what happens. These with, it's almost 100 players. You have to win close to every game to to win these, because there's so many players in them that this guy right behind me, I'm 8 out of 8, he's 7 out of 8, but one loss, and so there's also a little bit of luck in the pairing. So let's see how he parries this threat. Okay, I'm going to take that first. Take the knight. So okay, so he goes for it. I think knight there. That's the best way forward, I guess. Pawn here. I gotta. Not sure the best path forward, but I did look like I had to sack that one there. So okay, I think I could go here because he can't sack his queen. He's going to get mated. And then this way you get the bishop, and he only has a knight to attack. So like I'm threatening mate. It's pretty painful. Check there. So it's almost mate. I could do bishop here, and I guess just pawn there. Like it's a painful way to when those pawns start getting in on you. So just take one rook, and so I think I'm just going to snap there. And okay, so he takes that way. So let me just bring the knight back, and now I'm threatening the queen. I'm threatening rook there. He doesn't really have any counterplay here, so this is looking pretty good. Okay, so he attacks the queen, but I think it's too slow. I think try, not sure. So if he takes with the knight, then I could pop my queen down there, and if he takes with the queen, I could just trade it, rinse and repeat. Otherwise, this knight is gonna be taken. So yeah, I could just do what one of these rinse and repeats, as they call it, and then I get the knight with check and mate. Oh, that was really dumb. I just walked. That was really bad. I just gave up for nothing. Now it's like. Now it's a game. He's got two queens here. So neither knight square is defended, but I guess I got to do knight check here first. I don't want to block the square because if he runs, at least I have the bishop. And okay, so he runs again. Now I have the knight and this check here, which I guess just isn't enough. So I got to be careful on these knight checks, but I think I could just run over because my bishop is defending. So take, and I hope he doesn't have a mate. Okay, so he gets scared and plays there. So I guess I gotta try to force him out. He's got to go up, otherwise it's mate. And I could probably do something like rook takes knight, but or even just pawn here is a strong threat of mate. Okay, so do I take with the knight? I think I don't take the knight and don't allow him to come back, and then okay, so force him up. Okay, take this knight. I only have 20 seconds, so I'll be extremely careful here. Careful, he can't threaten anything. I mean, just pawn there could be annoying. It's probably his best move. I don't know if I have mate. So, do I have mate if his king runs? Okay, does he have mate? So now, so I would, if I were him, I would have placed the pawn at f3. And so I'm even going to pre-move pawn takes bishop, and that's double mate. So that game was pretty close. Like I had better, and then I just gave up the queen in the middle of my mating attack. So you see how quickly these things are going. So still in first place. Now I got a commanding lead. Thank God. Halfway through, I'm at 33 points, 27 in second. So, and 21 is already in third. So, but it's not good to be too competitive. Just a game. largely just a kid's game. So let's see what's going on here. I guess if he plays knight g5, I got to defend the pawn, kick him next move. Not sure this opening worked out. I mean, he played like a Sicilian, then he didn't advance his e-pawns. I probably should have played it differently. My knight on c5 is not helping that much. But okay, so let's do it. I'll see that. I'm not sure what he could do with this. So at this point, something like knight e3 might be a threat. Pawn at e3. Pawn at d3. Pawn at d3 is probably my best threat here. It's unclear if he has even a powerful move to attack me. And then, pawn at d3, and then I have the knight threats coming in. If he takes, or you take the bishop, and knight at f3. So I think I'm going to do pawn here anyways. So knight check here is now a serious threat, forces king into the open here, plus you allow me to get a rook. And as of now, like, I don't think anything, even if he had a lot of material, I think I'd probably safe here. So I mean, if he had a pawn and a rook and a bit, even if he had a whole horde of material, I think I'd be okay here. Okay, so yeah, I thought that's what he'd do, so just take that. So I mean, he could take the knight check. So that's unfortunate for him, because now I get the knight with check. Okay, so again, because the pin on the pawn he can't take back, and I guess so. He basically had to sack the queen. That knight there was bad. Okay, so thank God, a little over halfway. Hopefully, I'll break 50 here. I haven't had very tough competition besides the first game. Thank God I won. I don't know if that guy withdrew. So I think he was 2160 when I played him. And, but since then, yeah. So this is, different than like on Lead Chess, where Lead Chess, if you're, playing mostly against players of your own rating strength, but he left that not defended, and then so just take that, and I'll bring this knight in. Okay, so thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm going to check back the chat later, but just wanted to see. I guess no super chats. No one super chatted me. That I would definitely notice, but that's the nature of self-interest. So what's going on here? I'm up a tiny bit of material, a few points. I guess I'm just going to push him back. If he sacks, he can't even sack. He only gets one pawn for it, and then I'm going to take this bishop here, and then I'm going to push the pawn to g5. I might even push the pawn here first before I take the bishop. Yeah, so this is definitely looking pretty good, but I don't see a clear path forward to breaking through. I only have a rook. I'm going to take that knight, because then I think I could play the knight in here like this, although it's just not quite good enough. When you go back and I play the bishop here, I need to feed a little bit of material. So I mean, look at these pieces, this bishop and knight, just his rook, his development. I was talking to Oki, the 960. So 960, obviously, developing your pieces is very difficult. So generally, you want to develop your pieces. Just because it's crazy house doesn't mean you don't want to develop your pieces. Sometimes you could have these killer attacks that, without developing your pieces. But, okay, so I think I just check here first. He's got this pretty well defended. So, I got to come up with some sort of breakthrough here, and it's tough because I've locked my own pieces in. Okay, so there he just gives up material. That should help. He can't take that back because then I'll win his queen. Okay, so either he didn't see it or just figured he had to do it. And now, even now the material deficit, his pieces here, like the back rank, I should be able to win it. But it was hard to penetrate him here, even though these pawns here, solidly just gave me basically a victory that he couldn't stop. It's still, is an effort to finish a person off and to break through and get to checkmate. And he's got a lot of pieces, so I have heavy materials. At this point, it's interesting. I have 2 queens and 3 rooks to his rook, but he has 7 out of 8 of the major pieces. Also I have a pawn advantage. So, just in terms of pieces, he has as many pieces as I do to play around with here. It's just that I have heavy pieces, but at the same time, it's harder to move heavy pieces in Crazy House because they could just be attacked every move. So finally, I got to his king, and this should just be made. I could take with the queen because you can't take it back. Okay, 41. So number 2. Pretty sure I played him a few times. I'm 4-1 against number 2. So we'll see if I play number 2. Okay, so let's see if this is he plays the D4. So I'm 1-0 against this guy from Croatia. So he's good at puzzles, very tactical. But I guess I'm a stronger over the board player than him. So he's not in competitive place for first, but certainly a loss here would not benefit my score here. So, okay, I got to take. Do some trades. I could have pushed. Pushing may have been better, but. So this man here from Croatia, give me a, let's see, probably give me a good game. So, I guess if I don't take, he's just going to pop his bishop right in there. And I mean, he could do like pawn at h6. So he doesn't do pawn at h6. He does knight there first. So we'll see what's going on. Okay, there. I'll play this safe. I could have tried like, I think, just see, kick his knight, force him to take. So, okay, so pawn there, illogical. I guess I gotta go here. If he takes that, I could take back with the pawn. Hopefully that knight there is good. I think I'm just gonna push. Might be help to give myself king extra squares. So it turned into a dynamic game. This knight here. We'll see how painful it is. I mean, he might just be able to move his queen, but he's got to be careful what square he moves his queen to. Like, for example, knight at f3 is a threat. So, that's probably the best square for him to move it to. So, if I do, for example, just like rook here, he's going to place a pawn in on me. So, yeah, this could be bad. So knight here. The pawn there is just going to be painful. I don't really have anything good. So I guess I'll just bring it back. Okay, so this could be painful here. We'll see what's going on. I mean, like pawn here is almost certain, but see what he does. I mean, you could just take the knight here and pop it right back here in on me. Like I'd have to do probably like knight there. I mean, he doesn't have a pawn to, so he takes that way. So I guess I got to play here. So if he does knight check, he probably has me. He does knight check. I got to sacrifice because I can't run. The bishop prevents me from running this way. So knight check leaves me no choice but to sacrifice my queen. Let's say like it looks like I'm going to lose this game, but he's down to a minute, so he's got to find the best continuation. He's got to be scared about mate. I mean, knight check, king takes, queen, knight takes queen, bishop takes. You have two knights and a queen, which may or may not be enough. So I don't know how that helps him. I still just take. I mean, so obviously the same thing. If he plays knight there, I'm just going to take. So, this is the unfortunate or the fortunate part about playing quick time control like that is that, he was forced to make a decision and he made the wrong decision. I mean, certainly probably like knight check there. I mean, didn't want to lose the queen with check, but I think, maybe he saw my mate or not. And maybe you have to look at the analysis. It could be I wasn't even really doing that bad. So, I guess I'm just going to play my queen down. I flag him or something, like so yeah, I guess I'll just go here, defend his knight, because okay, so he plays knight there anyways, which is probably bad. So let's see, let's follow up knight there. Got a few threats. I'm just going to sacrifice knight check there. Knight back. Bishop there takes, queen there. He's playing very quickly now. Pawn there, mate. Oh, that was mate. Okay, so that was close, and it said like that certainly wasn't. He had a lot of winning chances here. So now I'm playing. I guess this guy lost, so he's fallen to number 3. So thank God I am at all-time high ratings. 2165 is unquestionably my high rating. Yeah, I mean, we've met before, me and this guy, and it says like this Fianchetto giving up the center here is is a different story. So okay, he goes for it. So I wasn't sure about this. I guess here, I mean, I guess he could play bishop there. Yeah, so I better take the bishop. Let me try. I didn't mean to give him that. That was definitely a mistake. Okay, so I take the knight. I got to hope for some sort of counterplay. So I'm hoping that he doesn't have mate here. Like I've messed this up. So now he takes the queen. Play this check. If he so he doesn't take back and take the knight, and guess I gotta go there. And if he does he have a follow-up? If he does knight check, okay, so that he drained my knight. I mean, I probably could have brought this knight out also. So this game's not looking good. There's a lot of time on the board. I'm not sure, like, if I take the rook, if I have anything, I don't really even have any good threats here, so it's not looking good. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. I'm just going to develop that knight there, and I guess, I mean, he's just going to take the rook, and I'm in a world of hurt. You know, I could take the rook next move. I'm just hoping somehow I'm starving off mate. Okay, so that makes sense, his move. So it's unclear his path forward. You know, like if bishop takes knight, pawn takes something here, king there, some way checking. I'm not sure. He might not have mate, and his king is in some trouble here itself. So game's not over here. You know, he's got to come up with something. So there, I got to take. Okay, so now if he does knight there, I could do king takes knight and pawn there, and I'm taking his rook. And on the opposite side, you know, he's allowed me possibly some counterplay. So I'm not sure if I have an immediate, if like bishop check here. Let's try something like that just to cover another square. So take, if he takes, so now, you know, covering c1, which is probably not enough. But okay, so does my king run to safety? Can my king just run up here? Does he have a check? Oh, okay. Well, does he have a check here? It's knight check here. Bishop takes knight. It's definitely his game to win, but he hasn't done it yet. Oh, so he just takes. I don't have too much material, so you know, does he have a threat? Do I have a threat? Can I make a threat? I mean, pawn here is not a threat because I take, but so I don't know. You had to play something. So does he have a mate in there? I could almost even place a pawn down there. So does he have a check? He has now, unfortunately, bishop takes knight. Oh, so he takes that way. We go here. I could have just, oy vey. Have something. Oh, okay. He got me. That was pretty close. So that's unfortunate. That was a tight game, and it took the full amount of time. So I'm still in first by a good amount, and even though he beat me, he's still quite a bit behind. There's only 10 minutes left. So number two, if he gets lucky pairings, could possibly pull ahead of me. So that was unfortunate. That was a good game. So, I'm 12 out of 13. So definitely not complaining, but, it was a good game. Okay, so I had my all-time high rating stripped, rejected. Okay. What's going on here? Did I let him get these pin and wins on me here? So it looks like I got to take that. Let me move here. So I lost a queen for 2 pieces. Certainly wasn't what I would want it to do, but okay, so he places the queen instantly, which probably is not that good. Hopefully knight there will make his queen struggle to do something. Knight there. And I could probably just take these bishops. Okay, and you can't do anything with the rook. So, here he has, I had a game like this, the opposite side, so he's got all these minor pieces. I mean, he's got all these heavy pieces, and I got minors, and it should favor me. So, he's going to come into extreme difficulty very quickly. His queen is almost already out of squares. I don't have that square covered. So, queen, and he only gets 1 piece for it. I got knight check here. I got a lot of threats, so I guess knight check there. King there. I'm not even sure if I want to take that. He's going to bring this knight in. Oh, so he can't take this bishop. I didn't mean to do that. So, okay, he goes back with the knight. So, good move on his part. Okay, that was not sure how good that was for him. Well, I shouldn't have allowed him to check there. Now I can win my knight or the bishop or the rook. I saw him winning the rook and didn't mind, but okay, so he does that. Let's go knight here. So I'm threatening mate, and I'm defending this. And I'm also covered this square. I wanted to play rook or queen check here and take the knight, but it was covered. So, number 2 is right here on me. I need a quick win. This game's taking too long. What happened? Okay. So, he allows it. Oh, he's got no material. Oh, man. Okay, so let me just take this bishop. Oh, I maybe had rook there and king takes. So there, add another piece on that. So now queen takes knight is queen takes knight mating. What's going on here? Takes. I mean, and now I opened up. Yeah, this is unfortunate. I mean, I'm still pretty much won here. I'm up enough material, but the time, giving quite a bit of unnecessary chances to other players. I think I just go back and unfortunately it's just not quite a mate threat, so it's annoying. I'm not sure if queen takes pawn helps even. Do rook check. This has to be mate because I have all this material. Knight check here. And you could run up this way, but so okay, so need to play tight here. Need a quick win would be good. Without a quick win, get 2 more quick wins because really I could lose my first place. I mean, just for something interesting to play for competition, because I really want to talk philosophy, theology, mental things, but the nature of chess is obviously you play to win. So it's a competitive game by nature. You can't really play chess and not play to win. And then, obviously you have, once you're playing to win, it changes the dynamic of how you think about the game. Okay, so I guess I'll take there and bishop there. Set a threat on the pawn. Just usually you want to play on the king side and attack. So yeah, so he goes back and defends f6, and there just take like that, and this square he gives up the knight. So that's quite a bit of material that got there. So let's hope I could do something with that. Okay, so I'm just going to go pawn there because it opens up my queen. So if he takes, got knight check here, and I can even do knight check. That's pretty powerful. Okay, well, so let me go like this. And it's looking good. So this is probably a mating winning attack here. I'm going to be able to refill my own material. It's one of the positive positions where you could you basically give yourself the material you need during the attack. So I'm just going to take here, attack the queen, open up another venue, force him to sacrifice. So let's do bishop takes pawn because that will block off the file. So if I need a quick mate in order to you'll get another game. So I should be able to get it. Pawn there. It's just pawn here no matter what. Oops. No, it wasn't pawn there no matter what. So now this is it got annoying because like he's mated. He knows he's mated. Potentially he could survive somehow, but okay, so I got the mate. So okay, one quick win. Number 2 is right there, and he could get a quick win, and then he'll be ahead of me. And so I don't have enough time to guarantee. Oh, so we got a strong player here. He looks like this guy fell. Fancy Pants Syndrome, national master. Never seen this guy, but he's a national master, and he's right up there. But he's not going to be able to catch up to me. And okay, so he hangs the queen. So this game should be won, and I should be able to get first. But we'll see how much problems. So if he wanted to kind of sit out and just play a few moves to prevent me from winning at the time, I'm not even going to win a single rating point from winning this game. He doesn't even lose a rating point. So I'm not sure the advantage for him to sit. So thank God I got the win I needed. 2 minutes left. Okay, and I'm playing number 2. And so I have won this tournament. I'm playing number 2, 15 out of 16. Good for him. He beat me a game. Congrats. But as long as I don't lose this game, and considering the time situation, there's absolutely no reason I should lose this game. Queen, knight. I shouldn't have done that. See what's going on. I mean, he might as well do the knight, but I think I'm all right. He does the pawn, so he just takes the bishop. And repeat. So as long as I don't lose, I'm 1 here. These people behind can't really come back. So now he doesn't have a knight to come back. That's just material. And bishop at e7 could be a threat. So he goes straight in. Just go there if he takes. Oh, so that was his threat. Okay, that's fine. He doesn't have mate. There's only 38 seconds left. Just play here. See if I could threaten something. Okay, so yeah, might as well. So he takes. I guess I'll take. So, yeah, that's, well, I mean, he's probably getting mated here now, but no, he doesn't have to move. Yeah, I mean, it's mate, so he's lost, but okay, thank God. Won that one. So I'll put that stream in the chat. Let me paint. I'll leave it. It's my paint program. I'm gonna put online. So, okay, thank God, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Kandoff will be in touch maybe tomorrow night or something we could stream. I'm glad you're interested in the Hare Krishna and like the holiday tonight, Nityananda Triyodosa, Nityananda, a saint from about 500 years ago. So I'm not going to be able to make that because of that. I'm going to go to the chess club. Unlikely I'm going to do a ramblings of a chess coach. So, Gandalf, just try to concise, message or whatever, put a comment, and I'll try to look at it. I didn't see the chat, so hopefully later I'm going to go back. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a great weekend. Shabbat shalom. To all my fellow Crazy House players, I'm going to share this. Hopefully we could advance the game and study more. So you see Doooovid study has paid off. And, keep on winning these. Thank God. God bless. So have a great weekend, everyone.